Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm actually recording this after having made the one I'm about to show because I just want to put a little disclaimer in there. This is my first time making the first episode of my new series, which I'm going to get into, but I know the audio levels are messed up. The game sound is way louder than my voice, so most of the time you're going to have to listen very carefully in order to hear what I'm saying, but I figured I'd put it out anyway because it looks pretty entertaining to me, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. Just be warned about that, and future episodes I'll be sure to make sure that doesn't happen again. And to be honest, I'm really excited about this episode, so without further ado, with this series, not this particular episode, without further ado, let's introduce. Hello friends and viewers, and welcome to the first episode of my new series. I talked about this in my last video and I decided I would call it Battleground Tactics. Now, I know I'm a nerd, but I decided it because it's a nice acronym, and I'm all about my acronyms. BGT, right? So in this series, I'm going to aim to display various strategies and tactics aimed at success in World of Warcraft PvP. This particular series will pertain exclusively to Battlegrounds. However, that is not to say I'll only be talking about Battlegrounds. I'll be playing as my feral druid, Hengist, in the vast majority of these episodes, so if you play a feral druid or you struggle in fighting against feral druids while playing, these videos will be especially helpful to you. However, I'm not going to be talking about what it takes to win, excuse me, I am going to be talking about what it takes to win a particular battleground, but I'm not going to be spending any time, putting other people down, trying to show off or flaunting. Yeah, this is all real stuff here. But again, if you do play feral, then this is going to be especially helpful. Okay, so in this series, we'll aid in the progressive education of the WoW player base, ideally, and that's why I'm doing it. But in addition to that, I'm also, trying to make these entertaining, make them fun to watch. They're similar to the time-lapse duels I've done in the past, which is a dueling episode series, which tend to be had a very positive response in general. So I'm hoping you guys will like this, and I'm going to try my best to make it entertaining. So I'm not going to be wearing my professor mask or any of that, like I kind of have in the past videos. And for those of you that say I'm a little boring, too monotone, then you'll probably see me get pretty excited. So yeah, I'm doing all this in real time. I'm sure you can hear my clicking and my keyboard. So I'm not staging these or anything. I'm not really sure how well I'm gonna do because I've never tried speaking and playing the game simultaneously before. But yeah, this is all done live, and I'll apologize in advance if it just so happens I use any profanity, because I tend to get pretty worked up about the game. Yeah, who doesn't? PvP in Warcraft is very competitive, so yeah, if that happens, it's really too bad if it offends you, sorry. So let's start talking about the game. Right now, looks like we got a head start. We've already started our cap on 3 of 5 bases, so at this point we're going to be ahead. Now, I'm going to be trying to explain proper tactics, but at the same time I want to make these entertaining. So ideally I would stay back there with mines and help to defend it, because we already have the lead for some reason. Seems the horde are fighting on that bridge over there. But I'm going to go ahead and make an aggressive move here towards farms. Leg here, make sure the graphics aren't too high. When you're capturing a flag, there's always going to be probably a high possibility of stealth players in the area. So you probably want to do that in bear form if you're feral, or defensive stance. Just put on your, bubble up, because if a rogue opens on you, you want to be prepared for that. So we got lucky there. I'm going to go ahead and take out this hunter, because I don't want him reinforcing his buddy old pals over there. As soon as he gets his ass over here. Now we have another player coming up. That's a paladin, I believe. Nice, and he leads up on this hunter. He's pretty soft, and I'll focus down this paladin. Try not to mess up here and embarrass myself. Here's a rogue. I'm gonna go ahead and pop berserk and start hammering these two players here. These guys are definitely under geared now. Gosh, I'm excited for this first episode. Warrior is not that hard. This paladin, he's pretty geared, as you can see. But yeah, being able to single-handedly defend a base like this is really beneficial to your team. Now, playing in a battleground, sure, it's all teamwork, but say like right now I'm about to suicide because the longer I can hold this base, the more of an advantage my team can get in the long run. And yeah, it's just wise to play. Oh, nice stuff there. Individually, you need to focus on what you as an individual can be doing the best at any given time. Don't try to be selfish or any of that. So there's a high chance I'll die right here, but my team showed up just in time, so those efforts I made were definitely going to be instrumental in that victory if we should so win. Little ganking action going on there. But yeah, we have a very prominent lead right now. It's 4-1 in Arathi base, and I never even said this was a Arathi base, and I apologize. But if things keep going like this, say Horde keep attacking farm here, they're gonna lose quite swiftly. Now, yeah, I mean this is pretty uncommon. You'll encounter a victory that happens exactly, you know, really one-sided. But it seems that's what's gonna happen here because 3 of the players I just fought were quite undergeared. Now, a lot of players would probably chase down a target like that Death Knight that just ran by, and there's no point in doing that really. I mean, the biggest problem people have in this battleground is fighting on the roads, and I know your teammates tell you that all the time. Don't fight on the roads, fight at the flags, and they're not saying it for no reason. Because fighting on the roads is time spent that could be preventing enemies from capturing flags, or buying just the right amount of time. It could be a matter of seconds. You need to capture a flag before somebody can interrupt you. Okay, this is, looks like there's 4 or 5 horde up here. Look at this guy scribbles. If I were to open on these guys, I could probably, yeah, I could definitely win this one. So I'm going to go ahead and open on this heal. You always want to focus down healers unless there are extenuating circumstances. Say a mage is just bulldozing down your healers, in which case defensive damage would be better. So yeah, these guys, I don't know if this is a pre-made on my part or what. I just queued for a random. These guys seem to be really underperforming, and that's okay. I mean, not everyone has time to build up resilience. Let's go back here. See, sometimes you'll get lucky and they just won't be paying attention. Like right now. And go ahead and capture that base because they're too intent on trying to kill people that are being killed. Fatty little bite. Holy sh! That's what happens when you go into a battleground with no resilience. Alright, so that is definitely alliance there now. By the way, a lot of people that watch my videos are diehard Horde fans. In fact, the majority of the WoW community is diehard Horde fans. So before you guys start hating on the comments or anything, I have nothing against the Horde. I play Alliance for personal reasons. Hang on, I'll continue this thought in a moment after I, well, that's unfortunate. See, I talked about before, ideally I would be focusing my efforts better in defending Blacksmith perhaps, for instead of attacking this mine, but I'm trying to make these as entertaining as I can. It seems that, well, everyone's flying on the roads up here. It looks like they've managed to make quite a comeback, so that's definitely exciting. I do like good matches. It's no fun to just 5-cap on somebody or get 5-cap, so good competition is always welcome. Notice I waited for those 3 other players to evacuate the mines, which is probably not a wise thing that they did, before I decided to go ahead and attack that mage. Because engaging at the wrong time can mean the difference between winning and losing. Individual things like, ooh, little profanity there. Individual things like what I just did, I mean, the Horde is no longer getting points from this base, and if I'm able to defend it, then that's another base for our team. Just one player can make these differences. So, for those of you guys that think Battlegrounds is not independent enough, maybe you just haven't been playing for 15 years. I'm just kidding. To be fair, stealth classes like rogues and druids in something like Arathi Basin or Twin Peaks they have quite a bit of an advantage when it comes to capturing stuff. But that's not to say hunters can't scout with eagle eyes, far sight, you know. Just be as strategic as you can. Now, I don't really want to be defending mine for the rest of this video, so even though that'd probably be the wisest thing to do at this point in time, I'm going to ask for my allies to come down here so I could leave. I'm one of those action-packed guys. I don't like to spend a lot of time sitting around. There we go. 2 people is all I need. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and move up and perhaps an offensive on the farm. Or lumber mill. Looks like our 3 bases are locked down pretty well. Maybe blacksmith could use some more defense. But, you know, I'm Hankist. I like to run in with guns blazing. Chosen of scenarios, you know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and go over here, see what's up with these guys. Now, this Death Knight here, he definitely should have waited to run in there, because now he's got this Paladin who's going to go aid his friends. Looks like a tank. And he really should have waited to coordinate. I'm not going to be an idle man and just let him die, so things like that, you need to focus and make sure you're not running in there at the wrong time, because had he done that, he would have definitely been killed. Whereas our combined efforts probably would have been able to take that out without the assistance of that other person that just came in. So yeah, another successful attack. So this mage, I am losing HP and I'm not even paying attention. Yes, I know I'm clicking. Sometimes it's just faster for me to click. Not everyone plays like you do. I'm speaking to everyone that hates on clickers. And always keep an eye on the flag, especially if your enemies are joining you. So running away, definitely not the best idea in that situation. And there is no rejuvenate here, but I feel like I'm going to LOS those ranged guys so I can regain my stealth, because had I chosen to stay in flight, I probably would have died and lost that base. And every life counts, right? Forget this cannon, Jesus. Sorry, Angus needs to focus. Oh, rip tick. So close. Yes, I died. I told you I would die. Definitely not a pre-made, maybe a group from Dragonmon here. But it doesn't really matter because this is a pretty even match. And I know there are some new Battlegrounds out there that came out with Cataclysm, Twin Peaks, Battle for Gilneas. I love Battle for Gilneas, by the way. I think it's a beautiful map. But I just honestly came home from work, sat down, and first Battleground I entered is the one I'm going to put up first. So, Arathi Basin it is, even though you guys have probably been grinding this Battleground for 6 years. That's alright. Remember, these are supposed to be entertaining as well. So I think there's only a couple rogues in here. I don't know what that guy's doing over there. Is it a dead person? It's kind of hard to tell. So I'm going to go ahead and go down there, because I feel I can handle those two characters. But I could be wrong. Yeah, there's actually 2 rogues down here. Oh, that's not a rogue. He just came in. Nope. There are 2 rogues. Okay, so I do have Berserk off cooldown, so if this mage decides to leave, I know I can take those 2 rogues in bear form. That is not the same fire mage I've been bulldozing this whole game, so there's a rogue over here. So I don't know how geared this fellow is, but he looks to be a frost mage without ice barrier up. Not really sure why. Looks like this buddy here is away from keyboard. That's always fun. Okay, so that rogue is leaving. I have the confidence to run in there. Bulldoze this mage. Trinket is off cooldown for when the rogue decides to open on me, which is right now. Go ahead and beat this guy up. What the? Not what that was. So this mage, he seems to be somewhat skilled. I mean, I told you I wasn't gonna be criticizing other players because I'm not like that. But you know, little things like that, just being able to really dance around your target, stay alive as long as you can as a mage. And I play a mage. I'm pretty decent at kiting myself, so just if you play mage, bear in mind that ferals do break snares constantly. So using Ring of Frost, Cone of Cold, which he didn't really do, is an absolute must against the Feral Druid. Feral Druids are one of the few melee classes that can consistently beat a Frost Mage, but that doesn't mean that they have the advantage. In fact, Feral versus Frost is one of the... Let me go ahead and let this Torn interrupt what I was saying, because my allies just decided to leave there. This is a Resto Druid with looks to be 0 resilience, so shouldn't really be a problem. Go ahead and interrupt my Cyclone. Reflexes are key. Here comes... what is that? Prolidium? It's a melee paladin with... is that a really undergeared holy paladin that's tagging, or what? Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, he's definitely going to be our target. I don't know what's going on with my allies here, but this looks to be a pretty big battle here. Taking down this paladin is number 1 priority. Then I'm going to go into this hunter because hunters do damage consistently from afar. So they are really the killers. Hunters and mages really are my second priority when I play, because they can just do so much damage and they're so hard to pursue. Not individually necessarily, but in a battle situation like that, they're very dangerous. Here's our friend from before, Mr. Zuran. As soon as we get a 5-point rip up, I'm going to change targets. Because looks like, well, yeah, there's a tree. A little premature ferocious bite there, that's okay. I'm not trying to hoard HKs, but I am always interested. So, this is definitely a long battleground, and I have not expected the horde to catch up like this. I'm not really sure. I haven't been paying attention to what my team is doing because I've been commentating, but definitely not pleased after having such a gigantic lead from the start with the performance of my team here. But hey, what are you gonna do? There is no I in team, but there is... a team is composed of individuals, and there's only so much you can do. Now, we're in a good spot right now. We're defending 3 of 5. This guy is going to go throw his life away. What I like to do is stand at a threshold like this and intercept stragglers like this hunter. And try to intercept this hunter. That's a little latency issue from server side, but what are you going to do? Who would otherwise go to reinforce base and perhaps win a battle against my allies. But that wasn't really necessary, but it's a good practice. Just cutting off reinforcements is integral. You don't even have to kill them. You just have to postpone their arrival, because that amount of time could mean the difference between your allies being able to kill a healer or not. This looks to be a paladin. It's pretty geared. He is. You can always tell the first couple of hits how geared or how much resilience somebody has. And there's another deathmatch enemy. That's fine. Let me go ahead and play a little defense because I don't want to be stun-locked by those 2 characters. Using Bear Farm well, I totally did not mean to use regeneration right there. But using Bear Farm well is something that takes a lot of practice, and obviously you don't want to be using it too much where you don't have the ability to kill people, but against certain classes. I mentioned in my last video that against a melee class your primary strategy is going to be bleeds and then transition into defense, which namely means healing and bear. So maybe if we get a little one-on-one scenarios here, I'll show you what I mean. Now I'm going to go over here and see what's going on with stables. Looks like, holy, little resurrection there. That player there, Womp, very unwise decision on his part. I don't really see what he plans to do. Same with this guy here. He's just too late. Were I to make a move, well, that is a rested druid. It's always good to evaluate the situation before you enter. I'm going to go ahead and take out this paladin who's definitely doing the most damage. I have these berserkers, so I should be able to dispatch him. Unless he bubbles. Damn, he doesn't have damage. Okay. Let me go ahead and distance myself from this warrior, get him away from this group. Man, I wish I hadn't wasted frenzy regeneration. Ah, he didn't decide to pursue. So that's definitely a close battle, but I can probably go in there and clean it up after they decide to leave. There wasn't really much I could have done. Maybe if I had ran in earlier when I was crap talking Womp, telling him he didn't know what he was doing. That's right, though we all make mistakes. So they're gonna flee because they're behind and they need to be aggressive. That is when I will make my move. It's typically unwise to engage more than one person unless you have Berserk off cooldown. But it didn't turn out to be necessary. So that's the first one, guys. Battleground Tactics, BGT. I don't really know how often I want to do these, but you know what? It's going to depend on you guys, the viewers. If you really like watching that kind of stuff, then let me know, and I'll be sure to do more of it. If not, that's fine. I'm not going to go cry about it or anything. Saying, Hangus, you're too boring still. Goodness. So, yeah, I'll just prioritize other things. But I figured a lot of viewers have been nagging me for more feral PvP stuff, and this is a great way to do it because it's really easy for me to make. It's only took like 20 minutes. So, yeah. I will see you guys next time. Have a good day.